Oh, hello. Oh, how are you? I better explain this thing. Sorry, I'm doing a bit of housework, but I better explain this because you might be wondering what it is. Well, this morning, you'll never guess what, I was sitting at breakfast and there was this cup with some stuff in it, so I wasn't sure what it was, so I drank it. And it turns out what it does is it makes invisible things visible. So I'm having to explain to you now what this is. This is, as you can see, it says, nasty things people have done to me. So I always have it with me. I expect you've got something similar as well, but you probably didn't have a magic potion this morning. Anyway, so I'm just going to do the housework. As you can see, do a bit of washing up. It does make things a little complicated when you're trying to actually get anything done because it slightly gets in the way. I expect you've worked out ways around, but I'm sure you have something similar as well. I more or less manage most of the time with this. It's not easy though anyway. Whew. Right, where's David? David?
Hello?
Oh, hi, sorry. Bother. Hang on a minute. Hang on. I just need to have a quick chat. Hang on a minute, sorry. Sorry, okay. Right, David.
Yeah?
What would you like for lunch?
Don't know. Sandwich?
What? So, this has also now become visible, of course, nasty things David has done to me. A sandwich, did you say?
Yes, please. Yeah, a sandwich.
Okay, what kind of a sandwich?
What have we got?
I don't know, ham? Something like that?
Ham and coleslaw?
Yeah, I'll do that. Good, okay. Right, thank you very much, David, I'll do that. Hang on, I just need to put my bits together again. Thank you.
Right. Okay, see you later.
Okay, see you later. I'll try and make some sandwiches for you. Oh, do you know what? I think I'm just going to I think I might put this down for a minute. I think I might just read you a story instead. Sometimes it gets a bit hard. Let me read you a story. Oh, it's called The Unforgiving Servant. Peter asked Jesus a question. If somebody hurts me, he says, and then says, I'm really sorry, how many times should I forgive him and say, hey, that's okay? Before Jesus could answer, however, Peter offered an answer of his own. He thought it would sound good. He thought it would sound big-hearted. He thought it would be the kind of thing that Jesus would like to hear. Should I forgive him 7 times? He said. It seemed like a lot of times to Peter, but Jesus was not impressed. No, answered Jesus, not 7 times, but 70 times 7 times. Peter did some very quick sums. That was a lot of times. A whole lot of times. More than Peter had ever forgiven anybody. So Jesus told him a story. Once there was a king, and one of his servants owed him money. Not a little money, not lots of money, but loads and loads and loads of money. Millions and millions and more. One day the servant was brought before the king, and because he couldn't pay what he was owed, the king commanded that the man and his family should be sold as slaves. The servant fell to his knees. I'm really sorry, he cried. Be patient with me, please. Just give me another chance and I promise I'll pay back everything I owe you. The king looked at his servant. He felt sorry for him. And then, much to the servant's surprise, the king smiled and said, hey, that's okay. Then he called off the debt and set him free. The servant left the palace celebrating. And that's when he ran into another servant, a servant who owed him money. Not loads of money, not a lot of money either. A couple of coins, that's all. Did the first servant remember what the king had done for him? Not for a minute. He grabbed the second servant by the throat and demanded to be paid. So the second servant fell to his knees. I'm really sorry, he cried. Be patient with me, please. Give me another chance, I'll pay back everything I owe. But instead of saying, hey, that's okay, the first servant had the second servant thrown into jail. Word of this got back to the king, and he was so angry he had the first servant dragged before him again. When you came to me and said, I'm really sorry, I called off your debt and said, hey, that's okay. Why couldn't you do the same? And with that, the king had the servant thrown into jail until he could repay what he owed. Jesus looked at his friend. God's like that, king. I'm really sorry. That's what we say to him more times than we can count. And even more times than that, he tells us, hey, that's okay. And all he really wants is for us to tell that to each other too. I'm really sorry, said Peter. I didn't understand. And Jesus just smiled and said, hey, that's okay. And do you know what? God forgives us so many times, all the things which we do, which we shouldn't do, because he doesn't want that to get in the way of our relationship. Like that great box which I was holding up, which got between me and David. Nasty things David has done to me. Gosh, imagine if God had a box like that between me and him. But he forgives me so that we can be friends. And he says, do you know what? You are carrying around so many things that you hold against other people because they've once done something nasty to you. And it can really get in the way of everything you're trying to do and trying to live your life. He says, put it down and you will find how much simpler life is. And you will find how we can live together with God and together with others, just like he intended. Okay, so now we are going to do a forgiveness jar. We're going to make a forgiveness jar. And to do this, you are going to need something like, well, I've actually got a jar here, a glass jar, something which will make a nice sound when it's got rice inside it and you can shake it. So we're going to make a sort of shaker forgiveness jar. You could also use a yogurt pot. You could use something like maybe this old drinks bottle. Anything that makes a nice sound when it's got rice inside. Then you are, of course, going to need some rice. You're going to need quite a lot of rice. And you're also going to need separately 7 pieces of rice. Because what we're going to do is we're going to show this is how much Peter thought he was going to be so big and grand and wonderful and forgive his brother 7 times. And Jesus said, 7 times? No way, 70 times 7. And what he meant by that was even more than that, even more than you can count. So we're going to need a whole amount of rice here, so much. That's how much God forgives us. That's how much he asks us to forgive others. And then this amount. Just to remind ourselves that actually, you know what? We need to do so much more and we can do that with God's help. So, and then whatever you'd like to decorate it with, because we're going to decorate it. And so I've got some bit of foil, I've got some foil stars here, I've got some little bits of, the little card that comes out when you do some hole punching of paper card. I've got those little hole punchy bits. I've got a bit of glitter. I've got some other little bits of card that I just snipped out. And I've got a nice little shiny kind of sellotape. So there we are. Those are the things I'm going to use. And you can use whatever you like, whatever you can go and find in your house. So the first thing we're going to do is pour in the rice and just check it makes a good noise, because you don't want to start decorating and spending ages decorating something which actually in the end doesn't make a good noise. So remember to leave a bit of space at the top so that it can actually shake around. There we go. Oh, that's quite good. That's quite nice. I like that sound. There we are. So that's going to be my shaker, my forgiveness shaker. And then what are we going to do? I'm going to start with this little piece of card. Now I was so lucky as to find a jar which had a sticky label on, and then when I peeled the sticky label off, the stickiness remained. So I have a sort of ready-made bit of glue on my jar, which is helpful. There we are. I'm going to put that on for a starter. Now I'm just going to be whiffling and waffling on as I do my decorations, and you can choose whether you watch me whiffle and waffle, or you might, while I'm doing this, you can go and find your own jars and the things to decorate it with. Look, I'm going to put some little foil stars on now. I think that might look quite nice. So you can go and get your own while I'm doing this, because it's going to take me a while. Or you never know, I might speed this up so that you see me doing it extra fast. You'll never know how long it really took me. You'll just have to wonder. Or you'll wonder, maybe you'll think that is how fast I actually work. That would be good. That would be very handy. What haven't I done yet? Silver. So I'm going to be doing this, and do you know what? I know I say this every time, But so far, only once has anybody ever sent me in a picture. I would love to see pictures that people have of what people have made. If you make a shaker, if you make a forgiveness shaker, send me the picture. Your adults will know the email address to send it to. And guess what? You know what? If we had a lot of them, we could put them up on the website, couldn't we? On the church website and say, look, forgiveness shakers, this is what people made. Try it yourself at home. That'd be so good. Here we go. Another blue, I think. There we go. What else shall I do? I might do this red band now. There we go. Find a nice sticky bit of the jar. Pop it round, pop it round, pop it round. There we are. That was very good as well, because I used that bit of previous stickiness. Here, let me use this. This is quite good. I like this. It's sort of sparkly sellotape. I don't know where we got it from. It's very nice though. I'm going to do that. And I don't know what else you might find. You could try painting it, or do you know those kind of cellophane, coloured cellophane? That's always quite nice to put in jars as well. But you do also want to be able to see the rice inside, so leave a bit of space. There we go. There you go. I think that's coming along. Ooh, now then glitter. Now I haven't actually asked Ruby if I can borrow this, so I'm hoping she'll forgive me if I decorate my forgiveness jar with it. What do you think? I really hope so. It does make it nice and sparkly. I might need it, because this stickiness only goes one way around on one part of the jar. I'm going to put a bit of extra sticky here and here and here. We need to be very careful not to gild the lily. I think I've spoken about gilding the lily on some of these sessions before, haven't I? When you've got a beautiful lily and it is so lovely out in the garden, and then somebody goes and puts gold on it. That's called gilding something, to put gold on. Gilding the lily. You go and take something which is already beautiful and you try and make it more beautiful. So I'm hoping I'm not gilding the lily here. You never know, I sometimes do. There we go. I think I'm going to stop now. Aha! Not quite though, because I still need to put my 7 measly little grains of forgiveness on the top. So I've got a different kind of glue here. I'm going to put 7 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 in the middle. 7. There we go. And I'm going to pick up my 7 little grains of rice. 1, 2, and this is how many times I feel. Golly, I have been so amazing. I have forgiven this person 7 times. Aren't I great? And God says, no. Do you know how many times I've forgiven you, Anna? You go and forgive others like that. So there we are. This is our little forgiveness jar, forgiveness shaker. I would love to see any that you make, but whether you send them in or not, you have fun making them and then have fun using them. There we go. That's mine.